Victor, do we want to wait a little bit to see if anybody else joins, or do you want to go ahead and start?
Yeah, maybe we can give people another minute or so.
Sure.
I think we have four dealers from what I can tell that are online.
Yeah, we should have like 8 or 9 people that have registered, right?
Yes. Maybe we'll give people another minute and we can start, and they'll have to join as we.
Sure. Here's Gavin. Hi, Gavin.
Hey, Lisa.
Okay, maybe we should go ahead and get started. Appreciate you all joining us. Do you want to tee things off real quick, Nate, before we move into the training section?
Yeah. So just want to say, we're excited to get this going with the dealers. You guys have been asking for this for a while, and we think that the program that we have is a good step in the right direction. And as we go, we're going to be evolving it over time. And we picked you guys as part of the pilot crew because we feel like it'd benefit you the most. So hope you guys learn a lot. And if you need anything, we'll be here to help.
Thank you. Victor, you want to add something before I start?
Quick intro from the Volvo side of things. I'm Victor Falkenby. I'm Director of Dealer Development for Volvo Penta. Our Volvo Penta shop is something that we've been working on for quite some time, and we know that this is one of the main items of feedback that we have with our dealers and in doing business with us. And we are trying to make it more efficient for everybody to work with Volvo, and this is a step in that direction, like Nate said then. So we're really excited to get this going, and hopefully by the end of this, you'll see the benefit of it too. So I'll leave it at that and hand over to you, Lisa.
Thanks, Victor. So I will then go ahead and just share my screen. There we go. Hopefully everything will work. My computer or Teams has been super slow this afternoon. So hopefully we will get it to work throughout the next 2 hours at least. So as Nate and Victor said, super happy to be here with you guys today. It is the day before launch. We will launch the Volvo Penta Shop pilot as of tomorrow. So in about 24 hours or so, we will be ready to hopefully go if all the testing and everything goes well during the day tomorrow. So super excited. These 2 hours will mostly be spent in our test environment in the tool itself, because it's so much easier just to show everything live than just to talk about it. But I do have a few introduction slides before we get there, so please bear with me. There are not many slides. I will not try to kill you by PowerPoint, but I just have a few introduction slides before we actually dive into the tool. So my name is Lisa. Arvenhjelm. I know it's really hard for you to pronounce my last name. I am Change and Transformation Manager within Service Market Marine here in Gothenburg, based in Sweden and working in the Volvo Penta headquarters. I have been working for Volvo Penta for the last more than 11 years now. Always in roles very close to the business, close to the market, and then also close to our dealers. So various roles within dealer development, and the last 5.5, almost 6 years now, I have been working even more dedicated in the area of digital channel management, where the Volvo Penta shop is a part of that. And my responsibility when it comes to the Volvo Penta shop is really to activate on the features and all the development that we are doing to make sure that you guys have the knowledge on how to use it and how to use the tool effectively so that it actually helps your daily life, and also to make sure that spread the word about any news, make sure we have training in place, and also to gather any feedback back into my team and into my department. Please ask questions. I'm not sure if you are able to unmute or not. We've had some difficulties with that in the past webinars, but if you can unmute, please do so and speak up and ask questions. It is completely fine to interrupt me at any time, no problem. If you do post any messages in the chat, I will ask Victor or John to please monitor that. I am working on just one screen today, so it's a little bit tricky to keep track of any chat messages at the same time. So I would appreciate some support there from you guys in the office. So what is then the Volvo Penta shop? Well, the Volvo Penta shop is basically an online tool which enables you to search for and order genuine Volvo Penta parts based on part numbers, serial numbers, and different filter options. And we will have a look at that a little bit closer when we get into the actual tool. The reason for using it, well, the Volvo Penta shop is directly linked to our central parts source systems. So this means that the Volvo Penta shop will always give you the most updated parts information, as well as giving you availability information and price information. And how to find it? You can either just browse to volvopenta.com/shop, or there is a link to access the shop through VPN. And again, I will show you that in a little bit, how that works. The Volvo Penta shop is not anything new. It has been around for quite some time, even though it was in a slightly different shape and form. We launched the very first piece of the Volvo Penta shop in 2010 as a very, very limited internal ordering tool. And then in 2012, we expanded the use of it to be more of a real web shop, a more external online tool for ordering and selling parts. Having said that, we do not use this tool to sell any Volvo Penta parts directly from Volvo Penta. Everything online is always sold by our dealers. So power centers like Helmut's are the ones to actually managing the shop and also making sure to fulfill any orders. So we do not use this tool as a selling tool from Volvo Penta. In 2018, the old system started to be quite outdated. So we started a pre-study to replace it with a completely new platform and also a complete new way of working. And the first launch of this new tool was in 2021. And since then, we have moved all the old dealers that were in the old solution to the new one. And we have also added quite some new dealers and markets into the tool. And the development has constantly been ongoing. So it has developed quite a lot since the day when we first launched, and it's still development is still ongoing. And now we are here in 2025, and it is your turn. We are currently covering 36 countries around the world, mainly centered around Europe, but we do also have shops in Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and some other places. And again, we are now then looking to expand into the US. We do have around 1,600 connected dealers that are using this tool more or less every day, at least every week, to find and order parts. We tend to refer to this tool as a shopping window to display data. The shop itself contains very, very little information. Most of it that we show is derived from other systems. So we rely on a lot of data to be able to provide you with the correct information. One type of this data is all the parts data. So that means the part names, the descriptions, supersessions, etc. We do have around 65,000 searchable part numbers in the shop today. That is a massive amount of data. And it is also really, really hard to make sure that everything is always 100% correct, especially when it comes to the older parts where the parts information was authored many, many years ago, long before anyone was even thinking about being able to display it digitally and to use it for an online selling tool. And having said that, I would really, really like to pledge for your help here, because it is super, super important for us to get the feedback in case you will find something that doesn't add up or that is incorrect when it comes to parts data in the tool. It can be a part that does not belong in a parts list. It can be a wrong fits to. It can be a wrong picture or a wrong description, basically anything connected to the parts data. We are super grateful if we get that information so that we can correct it in the systems, and thereby also helping basically everyone in the world searching for Volvo Penta parts. So if you do find something strange, please send a message to Helmut and they will make sure to channel it through to us so that we can make the corrections that are needed. Dealer info is also something that we get from our backend system. So your addresses and your contact information. The recommended price lists is derived from a system called IPPM, and also the user roles. So to make sure that the right people get to see the right content. So that was it when it comes to my PowerPoint. Are there any questions or thoughts so far? No? Once in a while, I would just appreciate a yes, so that I know that you're still there, since I cannot see you. Good. Okay. First things first, and that is how to access and find the shop and how to log in. As I mentioned, you can simply just add your, just move this one. You can simply just add the URL in here. And it is volvopenta.com/shop. And you can just save it as a favorite and then reuse it whenever you want to reach it. Or you can go to VPPN and click on the Volvo Penta shop link here, which will also take you directly to the shop. Even if you are logged into VPPN, you will still have to log in separately into the shop. Unfortunately, we were not allowed to keep using the single sign-on that we do have for a lot of the older applications. When we developed the shop, that was no longer considered to be safe enough. So therefore, we had to move into another way of logging in, which is a Microsoft-based solution, which is many of you are familiar with it. It's the Azure login. And this, I know, is probably the most tricky part of the entire shop. So I will show you how to do it and take you through it. So to log in, you just simply press login. Pretty basic. And that will take you to a new page. And what is super important here is to always remember to use the Volvo account option at the bottom to log in here. If you don't use it, you will not be logged in correctly with your Volvo ID. So this one is very important. So that is the first step, the first hurdle to overcome. And then you will be taken to the next screen, hopefully, if things are working. Doesn't seem to be. Okay, let's do this then. I'm messing around with a lot of different test accounts, so sometimes the system gets confused. Oh, it really doesn't want me to. This always happens when you're doing demos and when you're doing different tests. Come on. Okay, let's do this then. Let's see if I can open a new incognito window instead and try to do it that way. Let's see. I will try one more time and then we will have to come back to this because this is something with my test accounts that is not really going my way. Okay, we will have to go back. I will try again a little, or actually we can try. Let's try here. Let's see if it works in this browser instead. Sometimes I'm even amazed that it actually does work as well as it does trying to mess with all these test accounts all the time. There we go. Okay. So you will be presented when clicking on the Volvo account login option. This is the screen that you will be presented with. And what is important to remember here is that you should always use your Volvo ID, the normal one that you normally use when logging into VPPN, for example. So it could look something like this. So that is the first thing that you add, and then you have to follow with @volvogroup.com. Don't ask me why. This is just something that is connected to Microsoft, but you just have to learn to do this. It should be at extxt.volvogroup.com. It says down here what you need to add, but you really have to add this entire thing to make this work. And I know Ship had a good comment yesterday that if you are using a Microsoft login for other stuff, so you do have a business account, you might even have a private one, you have to be careful to make sure that you switch between them and that you log in with the correct one here. So that you use this one for logging into the Volvo Penta shop. You cannot use another account for that. And then clicking next. And here you will be asked to add a password. And this is, again, it's the same password that you use when logging into VPPN. This link here with forgot my password does not work. Again, this is a Microsoft thing. We cannot get rid of it. Trust me, we have tried. But this will not work. You will have to, if you need to reset your password or you have forgotten your password, you have to go back to VPPN, change it there, and then come back and log into the shop again. And then when you have added your password, you can then just sign in and you should be good to go. Okay. So that was the sign-in process, usually the hardest thing to get right. And as you can see, I was also struggling a little bit. But I have prepared now, and I am now in our test environment. And having said that, this environment can sometimes act a little bit weird. It can be a bit slow. It can have some strange, weird data that does not really make sense, but it is simply because it is a test environment. And our testers are using this environment to constantly trying to break stuff. So sometimes we do have some hiccups here. So please bear with me in case that happens. So now I am logged in as a dealer user. So the same role that you will have once you start to use this for ordering. And a good check just to make sure that you have been logged in correctly is to check your profile up in the right corner here. You should see your name, and you should also see this blue little square with a D in it, D for dealer. And if you see this, chances are quite good that the system has, and you have logged in a correct way, and you should be good to go. So that is a good way just to double check that. If it says something else, try to re-log in again. If you see another color or another icon, try to re-log in again and follow every step. If it still doesn't work, please contact Helmut and we will have to sort out and see if it depends on that you have the wrong access role or something else is not working. This page here, I know that a lot of you are already using the Volvo Penta shop to search for and find Volvo Penta parts. So I will not go too deep into how to search for any specific parts or anything, but I will just do a quick overview and maybe hopefully give you some tips and tricks along the way on how to most effectively search for parts and what you will be able to see in the different views. So please bear with me. I will not spend too much time on this. We have two different views, two different ways of searching for parts. This is the landing search. This is the page that you use for anything when you do not have a serial number. You can still use this page even if you have a serial number. You can also search for one here. But most of our dealers tend to turn to the workshop view whenever they have a serial number. So in the workshop view, you can only search with the serial number, and we will look at that later on. But if you have anything else than a serial number, you have to stick to this landing search here. And to get as narrow results and good results as possible, you should really use every single type of information that you might have on hand to help the system to understand what you're looking for. And that is to combine different filters. You do not have to do this in any particular order. I will just do it in the order that usually most people use, but you can change this however you like and start in whatever order you would like to. But let's say that we do know what engine we have. Let's do a D6, since we usually have quite some okay-ish data for that. And just select one of them here and apply that filter here. We can now see that we have 1,557 search results, which is quite overwhelming and nothing really super useful. So the next filter to add here is usually the function group. Usually you know what function group you are looking for a part within. And here you will directly see how many search results each and every one of these function groups will give you. And you can tick one or more boxes. It doesn't have to be just one. But for the sake of this, let's test the inlet and exhaust system. And let's apply that filter. And now we are down then to the 77 results that we saw, which is getting closer, better, but still there is quite a number of search results here. Another thing then that we can add if we want to is a keyword. So let's try pipe. And now we are down again to 21 results. And there's one more thing that we can do to get it even tighter. And that is to decide if we want to have a look at the exploded views or the individual parts. Right now it's a mix. We have both, but we can decide to look at either or. So let's try the exploded views. And now we're down to 4 search results, which is then pretty okay, especially starting at 1,500 something. So by combining the filters with the information that you have at hand, you can get quite good search results. Okay, please note that whenever you have selected an engine or a drive, you cannot combine that with the accessories filter, simply because we do not have any compatibility for our accessories. It simply does not make sense to say that if you have a D6380 something, you need this steering wheel or this joystick. So that is why you cannot combine your engines and drives with accessories. Okay, now let's take a look at one of these exploded views and see what we can, what kind of information we can get from them. As I said, it's pretty slow. It has been acting up a little bit today. There we go. So we do have our exploded view to the left here, and we have the parts list to the right. We can hover over these numbers here to get the name and part number of the specific part. You can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can even fill the entire screen with your exploded view. If you click on one of these numbers here, watch what happens in the parts list to the right. It will scroll down and it will automatically select whatever you have selected in your exploded view for you. And vice versa, whenever you hover over something in the parts list, it will highlight it for you in the exploded view. Something that you have probably not seen yet, even if you are working in this tool already today, is the information, the price information. So the price information will tell you the recommended retail price, which is crossed over. It will tell you your price, what you will be paying when you check out, and what discount you are getting for this specific part. We are also showing you stock information. And the stock information will follow a different logic depending on what order class you will be using to place your order. And exactly what that means and how that works will be explained a little bit later. So just bear with me and I will make sure that you understand. For now, I have a green dot here, which in this case means that this part is actually in stock at Volvo Penta, meaning in stock at Byhalia or Columbus. But let's just talk about Byhalia for making it easier. So this has Byhalia has this part in stock currently. It will not show you the total amount on shelf, so not the total available stock. It will only show you the available amount out of how many you are requesting. So right now we can see that there is one in stock at Volvo Penta. Let's increase this to a couple more. And now we can see that there are 5 in stock at Volvo Penta. Let's add a few zeros here. Now we're asking for a whole lot. Now you can see that the dot changed color to yellow, which means that there is no longer enough availability at Volvo Penta. And now you can see, okay, there are 14 available at Volvo Penta. The others have to be confirmed. Now there is some text down here, and sorry for it being really, really hard to read. We will change this to make it easier. But here it will also display the stock availability in Ghent, which is our central warehouse in Europe. You will not be able to purchase anything directly from Ghent. So this is just for your information. And it will also show you what your power center has in stock. We will look at another page where you will see this a little bit easier. But again, currently you are working with a direct shipping order with your order class. And that means that, again, the Volvo Penta, the stock at Helmut's in this case is, again, just an information for you to understand where is this part actually available. And if there is no availability anywhere and you need this part really, really urgently, then you have to pick up your phone and call Helmut's for support. Even if it is in Ghent, you will not be able to directly order it through the tool. You will have to pick up the phone and call your power center for support. If we scroll down a little bit here, we will see this one here, for example. This blue icon indicates that this part has been superseded by something else. So that is a supersession icon. And to view what the replacement is, you can click on the view replacement link. And it should give us some information about that replacement. So in this case, it actually tells us both a good and bad example. So in this case, the replaced part, the new part, is not sold anymore. So therefore, you cannot add neither the old or the new part into your basket. So in this case, most likely you will have to contact Helmut's and ask for support to find some replacement, something to replace this with if you need it. Otherwise, I saw that we had another one. Let's see how that one acts, if we will get something here. Yeah, so this is whenever you do have a replacement for a part, you will see the new part number and you will see the new price, and you can add it to your cart. If you do add this part to your cart from here, it will automatically add the new part. So you can never order a part that has been actually replaced. Some of our parts are sold in bulk. So whenever you are ordering something with direct shipment from Byhalia or Columbus, they will not split a bulk pack for you. So in this case, no matter how many you try to add, up till 50, you will always have 50 units being added to your cart, because that is the bulk pack that they are sold in. If you're ordering from your power center, from Helmut's, you can order 4. But if you order with direct shipping from your from us, from a Volvo Penta warehouse, then you will have to deal with these 50 units. And if we scroll down all the way to the bottom here, you will see this one here, which a lot of people miss, but this is the fits to. So this drop-down list will show you all the engines that this particular exploded view fits to. So all of these parts that are listed in our parts list here are installed in these engines here. Okay. Now let's look at so this is an exploded view. Let's have a look at a parts page. So whenever you click on any of these parts here in the parts list, it will take you directly to the part page for this individual part. So the single parts as opposed to the exploded views. And here you will have the same information as in the exploded view. You will see your price, you will see your discount, and you will see the recommended retail price. And you will have the same stock information here. The logic is exactly the same. So if we add a couple here, you will see that this here changes to 10 now. And let's say something like that, a large number. Then you can see, and now this is a little bit easier to read than the previous screen. So here you can see that out of these 7,000 something that we want to have, 40 are in stock at Volvo Penta, and the rest have to be confirmed. There are no available in Ghent, and there are no available at your power center. So this is how the stock information works. Now let's just do that and try to now add this to our cart. Every time you start a new order and you first time you add something to your cart, you will be asked to select the order class you want to purchase with in this order that you want to use for this order. And as I've already mentioned, there are some different order classes depending on where you want your parts to be sent from. The first one here is the stock order with direct shipping from our Volvo Penta warehouse. So this is a stock order. This comes with a minimum order value of $1,000. So whenever placing a stock order, you will have to reach a minimum value of $1,000 after discounts and everything has been deducted before you can actually proceed with that order. The day emergency one is also a direct shipping from Volvo Penta, but day emergency, so a little bit quicker and with a minimum order value of $40. And then we have the power center, which is then in this case from Helmut. And by selecting this order class, this means that your order will be picked and packed and shipped directly from Helmut's Marine instead of from Volvo Penta. So those are the 3 order classes, and this has no minimum order value. So these are currently the 3 different order classes that we can choose from. So just let's go with the day emergency, and you can go away. You can change this at any time during your ordering process, anytime all the way up until you actually place the order. Whenever you would like to change, so this is just the first time that you are prompted with this pop-up. If you want to change your order class after that, you will go to your profile menu. We will talk a lot about the profile menu before we are done today, because this one holds quite a lot of good stuff. So if you click on the arrow here, it will pull down this menu for you. And down here, you will see order class. It is currently stock. But as I said, we can anytime change it to something else. As I mentioned, the logic for how we display these icons for being in stock or not will depend on your order class. Right now, we are asking for delivery from Volvo Penta, and if it is in stock at Volvo Penta, it will show a green dot for you. You're good to go. Everything is fine. If we change this to Power Center,
Hey,
now,
Lisa, we have a question.
Yep, perfect.
Since we do not have open account with Volvo and our cash with Helmut, we can only order online from Helmut.
I'm not sure I get the question completely 100% correct, and maybe this is for Nate to answer. But what you do is your order is still processed by Helmut. Even if you do direct delivery from Volvo Penta, your order is still processed by Helmut, and you will get your invoice from Helmut. So you will not get any direct invoice from Volvo Penta. Everything is still managed by Helmut. It will only be the actual physical parts, the delivery, which will be made from a Volvo Penta warehouse. Did that answer the question?
I'm not 100% sure. I think maybe Nate might want to address this as well. I think it might be in regards to maybe the usage of credit cards, because Cindy mentioned that they do not have an open account with well, this is with Volvo. So I guess we'll need to clarify this with Cindy. Maybe we can come back to this question.
She's still typing too, John.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we got 2 people typing now.
Okay. So I let them type, and I will just conclude my explanation of the stock information, and then we can come back to the question. I hope that is okay. So right now we changed the order class to Power Center, and as you can see now, the dot also changed to yellow. We're still only ordering 1, but since there are no items in stock at your Power Center at Helmut's, we will now show a yellow dot, and we will instead show this as an information to you that there is one available in stock at Volvo Penta. But the icon will always follow the logic of your order class. So green, whenever you are asking for direct shipping, will mean that it is in stock at Volvo Penta, and yellow means not, and vice versa then for, or the same, but for the power centers. Okay, did we have the questions
I'm addressing those right now.
Oh, okay. In
Yeah.
writing. Okay.
Yep, in
Perfect.
writing.
Okay, good. Please just stop me if we need to address anything verbally. Does this make sense? Do you understand the logic behind the stock or the availability information? Yes, thumbs up. Okay, I hope so, since you are silent. Okay, looking a little bit more on the product page, this is, again, very similar to what you have in your exploded view. You get your specifications here. So this will mainly mean your measurements or your weight. And you do also have the same functionality here with fits products. However, when you are looking at a single part, this list tends to get a lot longer than when looking at an exploded view, because now we're talking about this single little flange screw, and then we will show you all the engines where this has actually been fitted. But if you do have a part laying around, or you have a part number and you have no idea what engine it fits to, this is one way to figure it out. Okay. And again, same thing here. You can just simply add something from your cart. Also from this view, of course. So works exactly the same. Sometimes you might not want to go through the hassle of actually searching for every part and then adding it to your cart that way. Maybe you already have a list of part numbers that you just want to quickly order and put in your cart. Then there is a way to do that called quick order. Makes sense. Going back to our profile menu up here and opening it up, we have the quick order up here. If clicking that, it will bring us to this screen here with some rows where you can actually add your part numbers. And you can also add a line note reference. We will get back to these when we look at the cart, but you can add some reference here if you so wish, and that those will be carried over into your cart. And it will actually validate part numbers for you. So if you just make something up or something is wrong and you try to add that to your basket, you will get an error message. And you can just keep going. When you reach the last row down here, it will just simply start adding new rows. So it's not just that you're limited to these 8 or how many you have from the very beginning. I think you can add 99 rows here at one time. You can also upload parts with a CSV file. So you can download a template here to get the template of what it should look like. You can add all your part numbers in there and just drag and drop it into this gray box here. And then all those parts in your CSV file will be added to your cart. So let's see what happens if we try to add this to the cart. Now we can see that these part numbers are simply just made up. So they will not be added into our cart because they don't simply exist. Okay. Do we have any more questions? Whenever you are ordering a reman part, let's say you want to order a turbocharger reman, you will automatically always also be charged for the core. And the core is nothing that you can opt out of. Whenever you add a reman part, you will be charged for a core, and you will not be able to take this away in your cart. Let's take a look at the cart and see what happened there now. So by clicking at the cart icon here, it will take you to your cart, and this will then show you a summary of what you have placed in there. So we have our flange screws, 6 of them, and then we have our remount turbocharger and the core. And as you can see here, you cannot select this core, which means that you cannot delete it from your cart. To delete it, you will have to delete your turbocharger, and that will also get rid of the core. In the cart, there are a few things that you can do. You can empty your cart. You can click on one item and remove that specific item. And this is what I mentioned before in the quick order. You can add a note to your items per line. If you don't do anything, just click on this when it says add a note to all items. It will add the same note to all your lines in your cart. And you can also just select one and add a note to that specific item. So let's see. Let's add a note here. Again, I love to use the Victor's boat one and add a note here. And that should now, if all works as it should, populate the note on every single line in your cart. To add more, you can either, again, you can tick and add a note to the item. It will only appear here, or you can simply just go here and add more to that specific part. These order line notes will show, if everything goes well and as planned, they should show up on your delivery slip whenever you are receiving parts directly from Volvo Penta. However, our Volvo Penta systems, the warehouse system, can only handle 18 characters. So whatever 18 first characters you put here are the ones that are going to show up on your delivery slip. Everything else will just not be shown. They will still be here. We can handle 128 characters in the shop. So they will not be deleted or anything, but they will just not show, the rest will not show on your delivery slip. So if you, for example, need your PO number to be added on your delivery slips, this is a really, really good place to add your PO number. And just make sure that it is added first before anything else. All of this is searchable later on when we look at the order history. All of these notes are searchable. So they are still valuable. So whatever you put here, you can search for that when looking for an order later on. The next thing you can do with your cart is to export it. And here you have two options. You can either export it as a CSV file if you want to use it for anything, or you can export it as an Excel file. And the Excel file is pretty handy because you can use it just for printing it, but you can also use it as a base for a quotation, for example, for a customer quotation. So I have already prepared. I do have one of these downloaded here. And it will look something like this. So it will have your information pre-populated here. If you use it as a quote, you might want to add the dates when it's valid from and to. And it will automatically populate whatever you have in, let's just take this away for now. I will add it again. It will populate anything that you have in your cart. it will populate the file with your discount, and that might not be what you really want to give away to the customer. So these you can change, and it will update the sums accordingly. And you can also add a row here, like work hours, for example, and whatever you charge. And we don't want to give any discount, and we want to add 5 hours, and it will automatically add that up and sum it up for you up here in the totals. And then you can just save it as a PDF and send it as a quote to a customer. But that is the way how you can use this file. And now let's go back to our card. Any questions? No? John took care of them all. Are you still with me?
Yes, everything's good.
Perfect, thank you. The next thing that you can do in your card is a functionality that we call save cart. It might not always be that you want to check out the cart that you're working on. Maybe you want to save it for later, or maybe you are frequently ordering the same set of parts. If you're, for example, doing an overhaul, you're often doing an overhaul on a certain engine type, and it is quite cumbersome to find all the parts for those overhauls. You can simply create a cart with everything that you need. You can save it, and then you can just keep reusing it over and over again, not having to recreate it every time. So if we press that, we can give the cart a name. Something like that. It's just a bit slow. And then we can add a note to the cart. And then there is an option here where you can decide whether you want to share this cart with all your colleagues that are working within the same dealership as you are, or if you simply just want to keep it to yourself. So if you tick this, this means that everyone with Volvo Penta Shop access within your dealership will be able to see and manage this particular cart whenever they are logged into the shop. And a use case for that could potentially be like if you're like a larger dealership, for example, you might have a parts manager responsible for ordering all parts, and you have a bunch of technicians. The parts manager can create a cart like every morning and just calling it May 6th or something, and then share it with everyone, and all the technicians are using the same cart to add whatever that they know that they need during the day. And at the end of the day, the parts manager can just look through it, approve it, and then send it as one order before cutoff time. Or if you have people working remote, they can log into the shop, create a cart and share it, and people in the actual location at the dealership will instantly see it and can plan either to look for the parts in-house and make sure to order whatever else is needed, or just simply send the entire order to make sure to get it next day if that is what is needed. So there are a few use cases around this shared carts. We do have a lot of dealers working with this in quite a number of creative ways. Okay, so now we are in the saved cart. This was the name that I gave it. And these are the items that we had in here. And here you can do very similar things that you can do in your regular cart. So you can empty it, still add notes to it. You can decide to stop sharing this cart, and you can export it. And to add things into your actual cart, your active cart from here, you can simply highlight those that you want to add and then add selected items to your cart, and they will be added into the active one that you have, the same way as adding parts from anywhere. To retrieve your saved carts and also look at the shared ones, those that other has shared with you, go back to the profile menu and go to saved carts. This is where you will have a list of all your saved carts. I only have one here, the one that we just created. And this is also where you will find all the cards that somebody else has created and shared with you. So your cards, and here you can also see that this one is being shared with your colleagues. You can decide to stop sharing, and then that icon will be removed. And then you can still access all of those that anyone else has decided to share with you. And they work the exact same way as the other cards. You can still, export them, and you can add things to the cart from here. To add something, to add a new item to an existing saved cart or shared cart, you have to first make sure that you have that cart in your active cart. And from here, you can select that part that you want to add to the saved one. And then you will see that this one here, the save cart, will change, and it will now say add item to existing cart. And you will open up this menu, and here you can then decide which cart to add this part to. Now, again, we only have one saved cart that we have saved, but you can then also, of course, add it to any of the carts that have been shared with you. I will very shortly show you an easier way of adding things into your cart from the workshop view. But if you're in the landing search, this is the only way to add parts into your existing saved baskets or shared baskets. Okay. Good. So now let's talk a little bit about the workshop view. So let's go back a little bit, backtrack a little bit, and talk about search and exploded views again. As I mentioned, when you have a serial number at hand, you can use the workshop view to search for it. And as a dealer user, whenever you have been logged in correctly, you should always have access to the workshop view by default. So if you don't see the workshop link for any reason, then something is wrong and you either are not logged in correctly or something else is fishy. So then again, you have to contact Helmut for support. But the first thing to try is just to re-log in again and see if that helps. So you simply just add your serial number in here and you search for it. You will find all your recent searches in a list below here, and the most recent one being on the top. And you can also decide to save these. So whenever you have searched for something and you might want to save it for later, you can click the three dots here. You can save this unit. Again, you can add something here. And you can save it. And when you save this unit, it means that it will automatically also be saved for all your colleagues. So here you don't have the option as you do for the saved cards. Here, whenever you save a serial number, it will automatically be visible to your colleagues. and you will find the saved ones next to your recent searches. So you just click here and then you will find the ones that you have saved or somebody else has saved within your dealership. And let's see if I can find a decent example here. This data is quite poor in the test environment. Okay, it will have to do, I'm sorry, but okay. So now we've searched for a serial number and we are in the workshop view. Before you do anything, if you just stay as is right now, you do have the option of print catalog up in the right corner here, or the top menu. If you click this now, this print catalog, it means that you can print or save to PDF everything, every single parts list and exploded view connected to this serial number. You can also untick if you don't want to have some of the function groups. So you can actually just select the function groups that you are interested in and print those. I will not do it because it takes quite some time to do it if there is a lot of data. But this is a way for you to be able to print everything connected to a specific serial number. This only works in the workshop view. This functionality does not exist in the landing search. Also, whenever you have a serial number, you can search for parts using this free text search here. You can search for a part number, you can search for a keyword, but just remember that whenever you're doing that, you're only searching within the specific serial number that you are looking at. So you can see it up here, and we will only show you results connected to this serial number, nothing else. You can also save your unit from here, same as in the previous page, clicking the 3 dots, you can do the same thing from here instead. And whenever you have a serial number of an engine, for example, we will automatically show you the serial number of all the components within the same unit. So looks like we're missing a shield here or something. We only have 2, but again, it's test data. So automatically, if you do have the serial number of the engine, you will also automatically get the serial number of the drive or the shield or the IPS drive, whatever is included in the same unit, provided that we have that information in Product Center, meaning that the unit has been registered. But as long as the information is available, we will show it to you here. And that is usually quite appreciated, because sometimes especially on older engines, it can be quite difficult to find serial numbers of shields and drives. But as long as you have the engine, you will see everything in this list here, and you can quite easily just switch between them. So if you're working on a boat, you can easily switch between the drive, in this case, and the engine to find parts that are related. And in here, you will get very similar information as to what you will find in the landing search. So let's select an exploded view here. There we go. And now when we are in an exploded view, we have actually selected a specific exploded view. You see that now this print functionality has turned into saying just print and not print catalog. So this means that from here, if I click print, it will only give me a print page of this actual exploded view and the parts lists. So if you just want a specific exploded view, that is the way to do it. Otherwise, you have to do it before you actually select any of the exploded views. Otherwise, you will have similar information as I mentioned. The exploded views work exactly the same. You can hover over them to get more information. You can click on them. The list will scroll down and select whatever part you have selected from the view. You will get price information, and you will have stock information exactly as in the other view. You will also have the super session information in here. The only thing here is that you don't have the view replacement link. Instead, you will have to click on this little icon here, the eye, and this will give you some added information. Well, description, flange screw, oh, that doesn't tell us a whole lot. But if you click on super sessions here, then you will get the information of what part number has superseded this old one and how much will it cost. So if I try to add this into my basket now, it will then actually add my new number instead. As I mentioned, in the landing search, you have to add any parts that you want to add into your saved baskets by going through the step of adding it into your active cart first and then add it to your saved carts. In the workshop view, you can do it directly from here. You don't have to do that extra step. So what you do here is that you simply select the parts that you want to add into your saved or shared basket. And then you click here, add to saved cart. And then again, you will get the same option here of selecting whatever cart you want to add it to, the ones that you have saved or the ones that have been shared with you. So it works exactly the same. It's just a little bit easier. Hopefully we will be able to implement the same behavior on the landing search as well eventually. But right now it is only available here in the workshop view. Okay, any questions? No? Okay. Then let's go back to my beloved D6. And let's see if we can find a good example where we have some good information. For some reason, I have lost my my discount. Somebody took my discount away while we have been working on this. Okay. Again, things happen when you demo, and most likely somebody changed something somewhere, so we have lost our discount. Because what I wanted to show you is a really neat functionality that a lot of dealers appreciate a lot, which we call the showroom mode. Again, it is in the profile menu, and it is down here, and it says showroom mode. What happens, that I cannot show to you now because we have lost our discount, if you turn this on, you will get rid of any displayed discount on the screen, which means that if you have a customer in front of you, for example, and you want to show them something, you want to check, is this the correct part? Is this the one that you're looking for? Or you have created a cart where you want to see, okay, how much will it cost approximately? You want to show that to the customer. You can do so without disclosing your own discount to that customer. So whenever the showroom mode is on, and you will be notified by this blue bar here, it will clear out all the discounts and only show the recommended retail price, no matter where you are. It works everywhere in the landing search, it works in the workshop view, in the cart page, everywhere. The only thing that you cannot do is check out in this when this mode is active. Then you have to turn it off first and then check out. Because when you're checking out, we need to make sure that we have the correct prices set for you. But otherwise, you can do everything by using this showroom mode in case you want to show the screen that you have to your customer. Okay. Good. Questions? No? Okay. Then let's go back to our cart and have a look what we have here. And one thing to point out, when we were in the workshop view right now, I actually added a replaced part into my cart. And when you have done that, we will actually tell you that in the cart so that you know if you were not paying attention and you were just searching for this part number here and you added it to your cart, and then you go to your cart and you see a completely different part number, you might think something is wrong. But here we will give you the information that this is replacement for this original part that you first searched for and that you actually placed in your basket or in your cart, so that you know that, okay, that is why I have this part number and not that one. And from here, you will be able to proceed to checkout. And here we will tell you, I'll just reload the page. Sorry. Here we will give you an overview of your order. Again, this is the order class that you have currently selected. You can still change it, but for now, let's go with the Power Center one. And in the calculation for whatever you will pay when the invoice comes from Helmut, we will check that your total value exceeds the minimum order value that we have for the day emergency and the stock. So again, for stock, it is 1,000. For day emergency, it is 40. If it's anything below that, you will get a warning message and you will not be able to check out. Also, you are currently only allowed to check out if your tax is 0. That is why we have asked you about your tax exempt certificates and you have uploaded those into the OneSource system. Because for different reasons, mainly because it is quite cumbersome for handling taxes in these kind of online solutions, we decided to go for tax exempt dealers or tax exempt orders only to begin with, just to be able to launch this a little bit faster without having to deal with all that hassle of collecting and paying taxes back and forth. So that is the reason why we have asked for your tax exempt certificates, one of them. And as long as the tax is 0, you're good to go. If you would get anything else here, again, you would get an error message saying that we are sorry, we cannot, you cannot place your order because your tax is not 0. If that happens, please contact Helmut and they will be able to check whether your tax exempt certificate maybe has expired, or if there is something else that is wrong with the order or with the system, if there are any bugs or so. But as long as your tax is 0, you are good to go. And then you can scroll down, and this here will be your address taken from our systems. It is not the delivery address where your parts will actually be sent. It can be, but it does not always have to be. So we have that in 2 different systems. This address is only currently used to verify your tax exemptions, to make sure that your tax exempt certificate equals your address. I know that that can be maybe a little bit confusing, but that is what we use your address for, and that is also why you can currently not change it to something else. It has to just stay fixed. This will be changed in the future when we start to deal with taxes and stuff, but for now this is just fixed. And as long as you're good to check out and there is nothing wrong with the tax, you can simply just ignore this address here because it is only used for the tax purposes. And if you scroll down here, now again, we're in a test environment. For you guys, when you enter the system, you will only have the option of delivery. So you will not be able to pick up in store, so it will be delivery. So whenever you select that, you will also be charged, in this case, to say $50 or $60 for your shipping fee, which will then end up here. And if you scroll down a little bit further, again, you will only be able to select invoice to begin with. So you will only have one choice here. And then you can actually also add some more notes and references to your order. These 2 lines here, or these 2 boxes here, whatever you put here will not appear on any of the documentation sent by Volvo Penta, meaning your delivery slip. This is for your reference. If you want to add something to your order for easier finding it later on, again, these are also searchable in the order history. So whatever you put here, you can search for it later on. Or if it is a message to Helmuts, because this will also appear on the order acknowledgement that they receive. So your reference and the notes for your own sake, or maybe you and Helmuts agree on something later on to facilitate orders. So maybe Helmuts will say that please always put, I don't know, always put your PO number in the notes so that we have them. That could be one of the cases, but it will not be visible on the Volvo Penta delivery slip. And then you can simply proceed with your order. And whenever doing so, you will then receive an order acknowledgement to the email stated here, which is the email that we have in our systems. If you wish to have additional order acknowledgements being sent to an additional email address, if you do, for example, want to have all the orders being collected into one mailbox, an info mailbox, for example, if you have a lot of different people ordering and you just want one place where you collect all the order acknowledgements, you can ask Helmuts to set that up for you in the backend system that they have access to. So if you want an additional order acknowledgements being sent to another email address, contact Helmuts and they can support you to make sure that that happens. Again, these things are just for information, and whenever you receive your order acknowledgement, you will receive some different files. You will receive a PDF, which is quite nice to look at. So the order acknowledgement with everything that you have ordered. You will receive a CSV file if you need that for any reason. And then you will also receive some terms and conditions and some revocation rights as attachments in your order. Okay. Are we good? Are you still awake?
Yes.
Good. Perfect. We have 2 more things to look at before we are done. And that is the order history and the returns. Going back to the profile menu, this is where you will find then your order history. So let's start with that one. And here you're again able to search. As I mentioned, you can search basically on anything. The search here is quite forgiving. You can search for a part number if you're looking for a specific order, for a customer name. No, not here, of course, because you will be the one placing the orders. But you can search for the notes or for the references. So if we try Victor's boat here, we added that as a line note reference, or the line notes. And we can see here that this is the order where we do have that specific note added, the one that we just created. So the search here works pretty well. Just go back. You can also use the filters here. You can filter out a specific date range, and you can filter on an order status, and we will look at the order statuses in just a sec. Okay. So here you can then look at any order. You can see the order class that these were different orders were placed with, and the total price and some other stuff, the date of placing the orders. The order numbers, this is something that we tend to get questions about. The order numbers are completely random and they are always alphanumerical, and the reason is simply because of safety or security reasons, so that no one can figure out what the next number in a sequence would be. So that is the reason why they are looking like that. And if you click on any of the orders that you have placed, you will be able to see it, look at it, and from here you can also either select all items or some of them and actually add the selected items back into your cart, meaning that you can reuse old orders over and over again. Also for the purpose, if you keep ordering the same stuff over and over again, this is just another way of doing it instead of saving a cart and do it that way. Excuse me. The only thing to watch out for here is that the price might have changed, especially if it's an older order that you placed a while ago and you want to add the parts into your basket again. Chances are that the prices might have changed since you last placed the order. And then looking at the top, we have some different statuses for the orders. Some of these statuses are set manually by Helmuts when they are processing your order, and some are simply automated after a certain amount of time. But the first status will always, for a new order, will be received, and this is simply that a note. This is an automated note saying that this has now reached Helmut's marine as an order. They have not done anything with it. They have not touched it, not opened it, nothing. It has just landed in their mailbox and in their administration tool. The next status here is processing. This status is set by Helmut when they have actually started to do something with your order. Either they have started to pick and pack it, or they have actually started to enter it into the other system that they use for ordering the direct shipment of Volvo Penta parts directly to you from Byhalia. So this is when they actually start doing something with your order. This one is when it has been shipped, and then the order goes into completed. And when an order has reached the status completed, that is when your return, when the countdown for your return window starts to tick. And the return window is currently set to 30 days. So 30 days, you have 30 days to start or initiate a return request after your order has reached the status completed, before you cannot request a return anymore. Okay, we will have a look at another order shortly where the statuses have actually been fulfilled, so we can see what that looks like. Depending on the statuses, and you will also see that, you will get the possibility of downloading different type of documents. Right now we are just in the received status, so nothing has really happened. So the only document that you can request now, or that you can download now, is the order acknowledgement, and this will be an exact copy of the order acknowledgement that you have received by email. So if you for any reason want to print it or have a look at it, if you misplaced it, you can always retrieve it from here. But this is what the PDF looks like that you will get as an attachment in your order acknowledgement. Okay. So let's look at an order that has gone through a few of the statuses that we have. So let's look at this one, which has then been completed. Okay, so here we actually had some discount. So this is what it looks like in your order confirmation when you had a discount. And if we scroll to the top here, we can now see that this has reached all the way to status completed, which means that we can now actually create a return for this, or a return request for this order if we so wish. You can look at the status history at any time here, and you can see during which dates the different statuses have been reached. You will also be able to see a note in the different statuses if Helmut has decided to add a note. So that can just be a simple saying, we are currently working on your order, or we have now shipped it. For the direct shipments from Byhalia, unfortunately, we do not have a direct link with that system handling those orders, which means that we cannot automatically populate any tracking numbers into the Volvo Penta shop. I know, and I'm a little bit scared to say this, Nate, but Nadine promised. No, I'm just kidding. No, but we have discussed with Helmut that you guys will try to add the tracking numbers manually, whenever you are changing the status into shipped. So this is where you will have, hopefully you will be able to see your tracking numbers whenever you have created a direct shipping order. But please be aware that this does not happen automatically. So in case it's missing, it's simply because somebody didn't have time, or it wasn't available to Helmut's, or something else happened. But otherwise, Helmut has promised to try to add the tracking numbers here for you manually, so that you can find them here in your order.
And if anything's ever missing, just reach out to us. You know, stuff might fall through the cracks. So
exactly. Good. Okay. There is one more status called pending. Let's see if we do have one that we could show here. No, they have not been put into pending. Excuse me. There's one more status here that can say pending. And pending simply means that Helmut has picked up your order, they are working on it, but something has happened along the way, which means that they have put your order on hold for any reason. It might be that they don't find the part that you have requested, or it might have been broken before they actually got it picked and packed, something else. And then usually you will get, of course, a notice also as to why it is pending, and what is the problem with your order. So that is just another status that you can have, or you can find here. Okay. Did we have a few more order lines in here? No, it was still just one. Okay, that's good. So as I mentioned, oh, we forgot these ones here. As I mentioned, depending on the different statuses, you will find different documents to download here. Now we are in status completed, which again, it's the kind of last step. There is the archived one, but then that is then the order is kind of gone from the system. And here we now have two more. So you actually have the invoice here, and we will change this. It says invoice now. This is, however, a pro forma invoice. This is not your... Why did it open delivery slip when I pressed pro forma? That was strange. Okay. This is just a pro forma invoice. It is not the actual invoice that you will be paying. That will be sent from Helmut's, from their DMS system. So this is just the pro forma invoice. Okay. And then there is also a delivery slip with the items that you have ordered, if you would need that for any reason. Okay. And since this order has been completed, we can now request a return for this order. Now, this order only had one item, one part, but you can request a return for an entire order, so for everything in the same shipment, or a partial return just for one or selected number of parts from that order. So a little bit hard to show now, we only have one, but it simply just works so that you can actually just send one later on. So in here, we are in the order history. We can now, let me go back. I will just for the clarity, just so that you see the difference. This is the order that we just created. It's still in status received. And here you can see that the request a return is grayed out. So you cannot request a return for this until it has reached status completed. Once it has done that, that is when you will be able to actually select the request a return. And when you click on that, it will take you to the return page. And the request a return simply means that you are asking Helmut for an okay to send this part back. It does not mean that once you have done this, you can just pack down your stuff and send it directly to Helmut. You need to have an approval from Helmut first that it is okay to send this part back to them. So first, you do send a request. As I said, you can, if we would have had multiple parts here, all of them would have been ticked, or you can just select one or a few order lines here to send back. If you are doing a request, a partial return request for an order where you have already done a partial request, you will then obviously only be able to select to return those parts that you have not already asked to be returned. So that is taken care of already in the system. But for now, let's say that we want to send back this oil cooler. We will send back all the 5 of them. You can, of course, also decide just to send back some of them. So let's say 3 then. And then you go here, you press request return. And here you can add a note to Helmut. As to why you are requesting to send this parts back or these parts back. Then here you have the general return policy. You cannot return any hazmat parts. Those will also be grayed out. They are labeled with this yellow, is it rhomb or yeah, the yellow hazmat icon. And whenever you have one in and trying to ask for a return for that, it will not be possible to do so. And then at the end here, you have to acknowledge that you agree to the return policy, and then you can complete the return request. And this is when the message for this return request is being sent to Helmut. Did you want to elaborate on the terms and condition and the specific return terms and conditions, John?
Sure.
You're so much better than I am.
The one that Lisa showed is our website general return policy, and it's just very basic. It's just returning the part in unused original packaging for resale, and that it is within 30 days. So the idea is to make sure that when you know that you need to return a part, is to submit a request within that 30 days, even though that after you submit that request, that you will still have a set amount of time established by Helmut for you to send those parts back in, whether it's, let's say, 15 days or 30 days. It's just to make sure that in our system that you have set it out so that you can get that refund that part. Once you have done that, then everything, it does not restrict you from refunding it anymore. And then in regards to the full refund policy, that information is also in Helmut's terms and conditions, which you will find on the bottom of the footer right there. And it will also be emailed to you with your order acknowledgement. So all that information is readily available to you, but you should know that pretty much by heart working with Helmut. Thank you.
Thank you. I got to drink some water as well. My voice really needed it. Excuse me. Yes, perfect. Thank you, John. So to find your returns, requested ones and refunded and everything, you will find them in your profile menu. I told you that we will revisit this one quite a number of times today. So this is where you will find the returns. We are already here, so it didn't make any difference. And the search bar here works the exact same way as for the order history. You can search for more or less anything included in your order, and you should be able to find it. You can use the date range picker, and you can filter on the different return statuses here. We have a bug here. I have noted it down yesterday. It should, of course, say return status here. But you can then filter out any based on any statuses. It's a bit slow. There we go. We have one in the status processing. Okay. If we go to the one that we just asked to be returned, it is again in the first, and here the first status here is called processing. So this means in this case that Helmut has received your request for a return, and from here they can either decide to accept it or reject it. And then when it is accepted, you can come here. You will not get a email or anything like that when you get the accepted for return. You have to come to the system and look it up. So ideally you would go here if you do know that you have a lot of returns. You can go here and just filter on accepted. And then you will, from here, you will pack down your parts that you will send back, send them back to Helmut's. They will have a look at them. They will make sure that everything is correct. And then they will create a refund for you. And again, this will not take place within the Volvo Penta shop. We do not handle any monetary transactions in the shop. That is done on the side within Helmut's own DMS system. And let's take a look then at a order where we can take that one then, which was accepted. And once your order, then this is one that has been accepted. And once you get into that state, you will now get the return slip. To be able to return your package, you will have to print this one out and add it into the box when sending the part or parts back to Helmut's. This is also where you will see any additional notes or where you will be provided with an RMA number in case Helmut's requests such a number for your return. That will also be visible on your return slip. This is what you print. You put it into your package. The return instructions are here, so you can just follow them. It's just a checklist, and then you're good to go to send your parts back. And once your order has been refunded, then you will also receive a return note. And again, this is not any based on any monetary transaction. This is just a simple information, and we have been discussing this with John that it should say pro forma. What did you say, John? Pro forma return note or pro forma?
Pro forma credit note.
Credit note. Okay.
Yep.
So we will eventually change that name. For now, this is what we have, and this will simply just state the refund amount based on your return. Okay, I think that was it. What did I miss? John, Victor, Patrick, you have heard me saying the same thing so many times over and over now. So by now
Nobody
you should
can
know
do
this
it
by
better.
heart.
No. You are by far the most qualified and did a great job once again. Thank you. And I am personally excited to see such a user-friendly, convenient tool that should go a long way to making smoother transactions for everyone.
I'd like to
Well
go ahead
said.
and touch on core and core returns. So for core returns, make sure that within that 30 days that you submit a request for the core return. We would like for you to return those cores back to Helmut within 15 days after that. So let's say total of 45 days from when you receive that product. However, that can actually, let's say, be extended to 75 days because for Volvo Penta returns, it's up to 9 days. So sending it back within or shipping it back within 75 days is definitely something that you should do to get the core money back. However, if you cannot ship that core back, what we can do is, and through Helmut, is the normal core buyback policy. And you can talk to Helmut about that.
Okay. Good stuff. Did we have something in the chat? We had the thumbs up. That's good. Perfect. And I saw, yeah, we had a question about the shipping address there. Yeah. So the shipping address can differ from what you see in the Volvo Penta shop, actually. And it's just one of these things that we have to live with for now and just accept, even though it might not be super convenient, but you just have to accept it. That is the way it is. Okay, any more questions or thoughts or comments?
So how do we, when can we start to order parts there, Nate and team?
Should be good to go tomorrow. So we'll make sure everything's set up today, and then we'll have put some test orders in tomorrow and see how it goes.
All right, good stuff.
Yep.
Ideally, if any of the dealers, if you do put in an order, make sure to, in the meantime, also email someone in parts just to let them know so we can verify it's showing up correctly.
So I guess what will happen tomorrow when we hopefully have a go, when we have done all the testing and we have a go, I guess that Nate or Nadine will reach out to you and just let you know that you can now start to log in and start placing your orders and use the tool as it is meant to be used. We will also share a few nice to have documents with the team at Helmut, and they promised to add it somewhere for you to be able to find it. So the login instructions, for example, if you completely forget how to do that, they should be available through Helmut, and some other tips and tricks of things that we have gone over today in a slightly easier digestible format than a 2-hour Teams session with listening to me.
Good, and we're
Okay.
standing by on the Volvo side of things to catch any hiccups that may or may not pop up, right?
Exactly. Please bear with us. It is a pilot, and it's the first time we are venturing into the US, so things can definitely happen along the way. So please just bear with us, and we will try to make this as smooth as possible going forward. Thank you so much for the attention. Good luck. I hope you will enjoy this and that it will make your life a little bit easier going forward.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Lisa.
Lisa.
Thank you.
Thanks, Liz.
Appreciate your
Thank you,
time,
Lisa.
everybody. Thank you.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.